Hey, yeah, welcome back, people. Today is the day we handle some touches. So let's get started with our React Native touch. To handling our touches in React Native, we have some simple and complex components predefined and something that we can define ourselves. First, we can start with our button component. P-U-T-T, oops, button component. A button component is a component predefined by React Native so that we can have our app interact with the users. Let's see how we can use our button component. So as you can see, I have added my button component inside the view of my React Native application. So what a button component requires as its property is an onPress function, onPress, which takes an arrow function inside. Let's say we'll alert you you pressed me. That seems alright. And another thing that you can give inside your button is title. So the title is press me. Oops, the title T must be smaller. Let's save it. Now let's see it. Let's save it. Let's see it. Whoa! As you can see, we got our welcome to React Native tutorial series and also our button. Hey little fella, press me. Now it is ugly AF. Let's start to test our button. Press me. Yeah, you pressed me. As you can see, the button inside that is given inside our React Native out of the box is ugly AF. So I'll show you some other ways you can implement touches and handle the touches inside our React Native application in a minute. So another thing that you can do to handle your touches is import another component called TouchableOpacity and also TouchableHighlight. Alright, so what are these? Oh, I misspelled something. Touchable Li. Yeah, I got it right now. So TouchableOpacity and TouchableHighlight. So what these are? These components are basically a wrapper around our text or any view that we can give inside that. So both of these components are very ticklish, and by that I mean whenever we press our TouchableOpacity or TouchableHighlight, they kind of blink, and that shows that you have pressed something on the screen. Let me just show you how you can implement those two components inside your React Native environment. So let's start with TouchableOpacity. TouchableOpacity, make two tags. Now start with some view, or also let's start with text component. This is touchable opacity. Oops, I won't say that. This is touchable opacity, but no, that's actually too large to say. Let's cut the fat out. Touchable opacity button. Let's save it. Let's see it. So you might see an error because we did not give. Oh, no error! Hooray! Something we need to do inside our TouchableOpacity is to pass on onPress function, just like we did for our button component. onPress function. Let's alert. Oops, alert. Alert. This is TouchableOpacity button. Let's smaller this TouchableOpacity text. Button 1. Oops, button 1. How about giving it some style? That's a pretty good idea. So let's do it. Style, padding to be 10. Alright, margin as well. Margin, let's give it 5. Let's make it a little less creepy. background color. So what do you want me to give it a background color? Let me know it down below in the comment section. But for now, I'll go with RGBA 230, 75, 82, and 1 is the opacity. I don't know what that means or what the color is. We'll see. Anything else that we can do? Nope. That's great. Let's save it. Let's see it. Refresh our application. It will take some time because it's too much to. Oh, alright. Now button what is ugly AF as well. Let's start and give it some style as well. STYLE. Style. Color be white. I kind of like white. Let's save it. Let's see it. So now our touchable opacity button is looking kind of nice. Let's click it. Wow, this is our touchable opacity button. Now as you can see, when I click this, the opacity drops down to I guess 0 or somewhat around 0. We can also change the value of active opacity in touchable opacity like this. Active opacity to 0.8. Let's save it. Let's reload our application with $R on the screen. Let's press. So now as you can see, the opacity that drops down is only to 0.8. That's how we can use touchable opacity to make our custom buttons if you do not like the button component given by React Native itself. So now it's time for the component TouchableHighlight. Let's bring it inside to work with TouchableHighlight. It's actually the same like touchable opacity. It takes all the props, just do not take the active opacity prop. Almost same. So what I'm gonna do is just steal my touchable opacity and just change the tags to TouchableHighlight. TouchableHighlight. Now remove this active opacity. Now something with the color to differentiate that. Color should be 130. White button 2. Now let's save it. Let's see it. Now you'll be able to see the difference between both the two, not in color but when we press them. So when we press our button 2, which is TouchableHighlight, you will see something that it doesn't drop its opacity to whatever we might have set it to, but it changes its highlight color. So this button 2 opacity does not change, but its color changes to black. I personally do not like touchable opacity, so I'll remove it right now here itself. And also my button component, because I don't like that too. I work with touchable opacity as it allows me to customize my buttons the way I want for our React Native application. So I hope to see you next time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe because more videos are to come. Bye bye folks.